Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to this, I would say, sharing is caring. I was a VP, I was a VPM, I was the president, and I didn't know a lot of tips that these clubs have to make it compatible, the having fun in the club and also reach goals, which is because when we are a leader, this is also important. It's not only having fun. And this club, they are not only president distinguished, they are president distinguished with 10 points. And they are not president distinguished with 10 points this year. They have been at least in the past 3 years. So I think it's important, and I thank Ray from Young Entrepreneurs Toastmasters Club, Carolina from Leiria Toastmasters Club, Pablo from Toastmasters Malaga, and Miguel from Oporto Toastmasters, because you came here not to learn. Of course, you can learn one or few things, but you came to share. So my deep appreciation to you. Well, now this is it. I would like to make an introduction regarding DCP, which is Distinguished Club Program. If you allow me, I will share my screen. It's very brief. We share my screen. Can you see this screen?
Yes.
Okay. If you Google for uh, Toastmasters dashboard, you will enter this page. You select your district. In our case, we are District 107, and we have all the data that we achieved so far. You come to this tab, Club Performance, and you see what DCP is all about. You have all the goals here. They are 10 goals. The first one is when in your club, 4 people finish the first level of any pathways. So when level 2, the goal number 2 is 2 people finishing level 2. Goal number 3 is 2 additional people finishing level 2. And then you have the fourth goal is 2 people finishing level 3. The fifth goal is 1 people finishing level 4, 5, or a DTM. And level 6 are 1 additional person finishing level 4, 5, which is a path completion, or a DTM. If you notice, these 6 out of 10 are goals related with education. So education plays a very important role on DCP. Then we have membership, goal 7 and goal 8. Goal 7 is when you add 4 new members to your club, regardless of how many you lost. When you add 4 new members, you have the goal number 7 achieved. When you add 4 additional, that means 8, you have the goal number 8 achieved. And then you have other goals that I believe every club should achieve, which is administrative goal and training goal. If you train, your club officer trained at least 4 officers in each training round, you have the goal number 9. And if you submit your dues, renewals, and the officer list on time, administrative task, you have the 10 points. But also you have prerequisites, which is you have to reach the minimum of net growth of 3 clubs, 3 members, or have 20 or more members in your club. But let's go for this discussion with the juicy part of it. If you allow me, I will stop sharing. Where is the... I can't see. I can't see the... Oh, it's here. Okay. So I will start with maybe Ray. I will start with you regarding the educational goals, which is how you in your club, you, not only you, but you are representing your club. How does your club motivate members to deliver speech and achieve more than individual goal, which is a collective goal of your club as well?
We tried in the past with the mentors, but we find that very often the mentor and the mentee, they don't have the availability, they don't have the understanding to really sort of make things work. So it tends to be more the officers of the club who have a stronger relationship with one person or another who will say, "Come on, Joao, it's time for you to do another speech." Yeah. So the VPE takes a very active part, but all of the officers have um, their friends, uh, their family members who they're encouraging, and so we do tend to push each other to do speeches. I know I'm not doing a very good job with my son-in-law. He's not done a speech for a while. I have to have a strong word with him.
Thank you, Ray. Carolina, uh, I know that we can push,
Read
gently push.
what I wrote, by stupid.
Who said that? Let me mute. Okay. Well, Carolina, we know that we can push people, but sometimes it's hard. What is the strategy that you in your club, your officers use to convince people as well?
Yeah, I think that in our club, for level 1, it's really the relationship of the mentor and the mentee that is the most important to motivate the new members to deliver speeches, especially for the level 1 speeches. And from then on, it's really like Ray said, it's a lot of us pushing each other. And we even have some cases, and Paula and Denise that are here today, they can say that they were like in a little competition with each other to finish the levels, and that also brings some motivation to the club in order to achieve the goals. And additionally to this, one other thing that we try to do to motivate to have more speeches is at the end of each section, each meeting, our VP always calls out for who wants to give a speech on the next meeting or on the other one. And that's a way that we keep on having people just having more and more speeches, and we are always having like 3 to 4 speeches every meeting, and that's a way that we move forward. And obviously one of the most most important things is that on this special moment in the end of the meetings, we start to push others that are like, no, 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 but we just say, go, it's your turn. We need you to complete the level. So go for it. And really, it's a lot of pushing, but also motivating. I would not say push. I would say motivate others
Motivate.
to
Yeah.
say that we also did it, and this is how we were able to learn, and so you should do it too. Yeah.
One thing that I want to remark here, many clubs, they have one or two speeches, sometimes none, and you talked about 3 or 4 speeches per session. This is also very important. Pablo, tell me your secrets, all of them.
Okay, I believe the the best that we do is actually our mentors. They motivate a lot the members, but that is not our secret. I would say the secret is actually that we plan long in advance. It means we have a waiting list. I know, I mean, I don't know because I am not giving any speech. But if I were giving a speech in 6 weeks, I would know when it is. And I cannot give a speech next week unless somebody fails. And then there is a waiting list for people who wants to give a speech next week. So we normally have 3 speeches per meeting. We don't want to have more than 3 because having more than 3, yeah, jeopardize the table topics and the debates, and we don't want to do that because table topics and debates is what it's a magnet for new members and not the other way around. So we have between 2 and 3 speeches per week. Normally we have 3, and we have a waiting list. It means if I want today to give a speech, my VPE will give me a date, most probably in around 6 weeks. And if I want to give one earlier, I tell her, look, Irene, I want to give it a little bit earlier. Can you please let me know if somebody fails? And of course, if somebody fails, she will let me know, or the first person who told her, I want to give it first. So there is a kind of waiting list for giving it in the future and waiting list for giving it just in case something happens in between.
Yeah.
That generates a kind of FOMO.
Yeah. Fear of missing out.
Exactly. And I do believe that is one of our best tools for motivating the people because it is always a way of you are missing something if you don't note yourself in the waiting list because you maybe you will not give any speech if you don't note yourself there. And once you are there, you are committed that you need to give a speech at your committed date. So that is a way we elaborate, and it is working quite well.
Wonderful. And you are a big club, so the waiting list makes sense. Miguel, the same question with an additional one. Do you guys strategize since the beginning when you create your club success plan in order to see, okay, this member, he or she has a level 2, maybe she or he is the one giving us the level 3, and let's pay attention to this and that. Do you have this in mind, or you go with the flow and it happens naturally?
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes, clear.
Okay. So answering to the first question, well, for us, it's the same as Ray, Carolina, Pablo has told already. The mentors to push each other to make speeches. For instance, I right now I'm the sergeant at arms, and even as a regular member, sometimes I go to come next to my colleague and I just say, hey, when was the last time you did a speech? I don't remember. It was, I know, so many months ago. And then the people would be like, oh, come on, Miguel, not again. So they already know I am going to push with them for them to schedule a speech even if it's just okay, for a month from now, all I want is give me a date. Give me a date, and then okay, then you have the objective. If you cannot do it by when you are next to that date, it's fine, but at least you have something that pushes for you. So I think that if you can cultivate in our club this this culture of pushing each other, I think it's good. Um, Also, something that in our club we have been recently doing, I think is helpful, is our VP has some availability to do some, let's say, some workshops or learning moments to openly talk about certain topics. And one can be about the pathways. And one, let's say, one of the issues throughout the time I have been hearing about pathways is few people feel restrained in pathways. That it it has certain objectives, and that's not what they want to talk about. But I don't feel that way. I think that well, what the VP can do, for instance, is openly talk about how we can, let's say, in Portuguese, you have something that say juntar o útil ao agradável, the usefulness to the, well, what's nice. And that is, okay, I like, for instance, to talk about economics. I like economics. And once I did a speech about economics in my club, I enjoyed, my fellow colleagues also enjoyed. So I think it's good for one to let our colleagues understand how pathways can complement with them. And then to the second question, Isidro, can you remind me which was it?
Yeah, it is if you have you, when I say you, any one of you, I'm talking about your club, okay? If you have a strategic approach, you have your club success plan, this member he has a third level already. Let's count on him for the fourth level. Let's motivate him because you are counting on them for the collective goal.
Okay.
And
If we
and
if
how
you
you do
use
that? Yeah.
those objectives since the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we do the club success plan, how it is mandated by Toastmasters International that we submitted. I don't think we use it actively or very regularly.
Mhm.
But now and then I think it can be useful for us to understand, okay, who are the people that are closest or closer to finalize those levels. And we can use that to, okay, next time I will contact this person to say, hey, Sarah or Miguel, you are almost finishing level 4. When do you think you can do it? So I think it can be a very useful tool for sure.
I heard because in the beginning of this mandate, I talked with the almost all VPs from clubs that had 10 points last year, including VP from your clubs as well. Malaga, I talked with the area director because the VP told me to talk with the area directors. And it came to my knowledge that in some clubs you have some kind of gamification. And I know Ray told us in our briefing as well that you have some kind of gamification that make people be more motivated. If you have, would you want to talk about a little bit about it? Ray, I will start with you.
Well, first, let me just clarify on the question that's just been asked. The first meeting we have at the beginning of the year, we ask everyone what they want to achieve. And so that's part of our strategic plan for the year. And sometimes we go back and we say to the people, hey, you promised you'd do such and such. But moving on to the our gamification, we occasionally have a 2-month period where we give points to people who book a speech, people who show up on in Easy Speak to book a function, people who bring a visitor. If that visitor becomes a member, they get an extra points, things like that. And the person who during the two months gets the most number of points, they get a bottle of wine, or
I love that.
or a €5 voucher for Fnac. Because we have a couple of people who don't drink wine, and the wine that we normally give as the prize is Monte dos Amigos. You know, just symbolic. It's not an expensive or a luxurious red wine, but it has that symbol that it's friends helping friends.
That's what I told you in our briefing. That's what I love about it, because it's a gamification, but it's not about the victory because I want that award in the end. The award is symbolic. It's more about let's have fun together and let's motivate each other. And I really love that. You are not the only club. When I talk with other VPs, I realized that some of them does the same, but they are not here because they don't have 10 points straight in the past 3 years. I have to find a way to narrow this. So you are the 4 stars in our district. I would say that. Carolina, other things that you may have, gamification or other strategies or anything related to that helps you to reach 10 points 3 years in a row, because the officers are new. You change officers and still the culture is there. There must be something.
Yeah, so we currently don't have gamification, and I think that we haven't had since I joined the club. But we have not, at least not gamification in the sense that Ray just shared with us. We have some moments, for example, in the beginning of each meeting where we might give a little knick-knack or just like a little ice cream when it's during summer for each of the members that attend that meeting. That makes us have people in the meeting, and that's a way that we can continue to have meetings that are very full. And also, I think that one of the other things that we do that helps us to motivate and to have our colleagues, our members achieve or help us achieve the DCP is that we keep them informed of what is the current status of the DCP almost every month. At least in one of the meetings per month, we do our current status in the DCP. And in this meeting, when we do this status, we share which of the members can help us achieve that level, or which officers or who can help us achieve any of those goals of the DCP. And that way we are asking our members and our officers to push each other and to help us achieve this goal. And the last thing that we do, that I think that it's not a gamification, but it's a celebration, because every time we have a member that completes a goal or completes a level or is able to achieve one of the points that they wanted to achieve in the Toastmasters, at the end of each month, we have a normal meeting. And afterwards, we have what we call the fourth part, where we just bring a little cake, we bring some sweets, some salties, and also some beverages, obviously non-alcoholic in our case, because we have our meetings in the school and alcohol is prohibited. But we just have that moment of fun where we acknowledge and celebrate what the other members and what the club achieved on this last month. And that's a way that we celebrate and that we motivate others to achieve the DCP.
This is, let me tell you, this is a personal thing. I only heard about DCP for the first time when I became the president of my club. And when you share this information, when you share that, okay, we have this collective goal, but not pushing, not making it a burden, at least people start getting used to it. And when they become officers, they know already that DCP exists. They know a lot of things. Pablo, same question. Do you have some kind of gamification or some kind of other strategies?
So actually, what we do is we give them prizes every time that they finish a level in pathways.
Mhm.
We have our own, I mean, yeah, we try to have some standard prices, but not all the time are the same. Sometimes there is a diploma, sometimes it is a proper trophy. Most of the time it is a proper trophy. And of course, our VPE mentions it. Okay, this person this member has finished this level, and that is yeah, we need to celebrate it. Please come here to the scenario. We give you the diploma or the prize, and we celebrate it. And normally, then, if I am there, then I raise my hand and I say, okay, let's go for beers and we celebrate it. That is our usual way to gamificate more or less our speeches. But we don't do anything else as far as I can remember at least for now.
When, for instance, when someone completes a path, call them on stage, hey,
Yeah, as commented, every
yeah,
time somebody finishes a level, we call them in
yeah, that's what, yeah,
the prize.
the
That is what I
certificate.
exactly. So either a diploma or a proper prize elaborated by a 3D printer that we have our own design. So actually, yeah, that is what we do.
Thank you. Miguel.
Well, Isidro, you told us some moments ago that indeed in our district we have many clubs with good practices. For instance, with gamification, that they hadn't the opportunity to be here to join us tonight. But I have some visibility of something I found in one of these clubs. It was the case of Invicta Toastmasters Club in Porto. Once I attended a session of them. And I saw that at the end of the session, they on the screen they had because they had a projector, we could see the screen that was sharing, and there it was a chart showing um, by member and by roles who were the members that performed the most times each role. And the idea was at the end of the year to celebrate, to congratulate the members that had performed the most. I don't know if it was the most functions, each of the functions. And I think this was one of those cases of gamification that I felt like, well, I am Miguel, and I see that I performed 10 times the role of evaluator. And then I see my fellow colleague Sarah having done the evaluator role 11 times. She's one time ahead of me. I think that this thing of the numbers may push me in like, no, Sarah, I will do this once again. I will surpass you and I will win this trophy. So I think this was one good example, in this
Yeah.
case from Invicta Toastmasters Club, of using gamification and in this case to motivate members to do more times the roles, Toastmaster, general evaluator, and so on. And I would like now to make this gamification into the DCP. We talked about the DCP, and that you said also, Isidro, that sometimes we should show more, share these DCP points with our members. What if we did that amount around once per month or
Yeah.
once per 2 months.
Yeah.
Perhaps with that, we would make our fellow colleagues of the club responsible as the officers as well, in the objective of pushing the club into obtaining more points. Sometimes something that they can do perhaps is showing how the fellow clubs, how many points they have, and make that little push. See, guys, this other club they have 8 points, we have seven. We are missing one level one to complete. Who can help us with this level one? Sometimes I think this bringing this awareness to our members, perhaps once per month or once per 2 months, can be something little but can add up great value.
Yeah. I will thank you all for your answers. I will open the floor to the audience to ask questions, but let me tell you what I truly believe as a leader. Leading is not only let's go having fun. I know that Toastmaster it's not a company, but is where leaders are made, right? And leading is also motivating people toward something. And I know that people go to develop themselves, but if you can motivate them toward a collective goal, you are practicing your leadership as well. Then you will grow, you will in your company, you will then apply those soft skills that you are acquiring that are so subtle, subtle that you don't notice that you are growing. All of a sudden, say, "Oh my goodness, I was there and I've grown." That's why I tell people to care about objectives as well. I'm not saying don't have fun. You know me. You know I'm always joking. Having fun is my second middle name. But let's grow as leader as well. Questions. People, you came here, you have questions definitely. You can unmute yourself and ask any question you want, because we have specialists in the house. No questions. Wow. All right. No question. I will ask questions regarding membership. If we have a big club, let's say we have 40 members, it's easy to reach if they are motivated. It's really easy to reach DCP because they start making speeches, the waiting list, and so on and so on. It's easier or less difficult. But what is your strategy for membership? What do you do to grow as you grow? Any one of you. There is no order now.
Okay, I'd like to go. Actually, the number of members is the hardest of the DCP points to get. We've, in the 15 years of Young, I think it's 3 times we've failed to get 10 DCP points. And it's,
Wow.
I think it was always because of missing 1 or 2 new members. So we can get 6 or 7 members, but it's that getting that 8th member which seems to be the difficult thing. At the moment, we've got 5 new members, and we're really pushing to get extra members because you always lose some members at the renewal time.
Yes.
So yeah, we're working hard on getting members. Every officers meeting, the main point on the agenda is attaining the DCP, and to attain the DCP, it's getting the extra new members who are going to get those level 1s and level 2s in particular.
I see that the thing that you have, the talk that asking members to bring guests and so on, this helps too. And Carolina, Pablo, Miguel, what else do you guys do in your club? Social
So
media, a lot of them, a lot
Yeah,
of
I
campaigns.
can share a bit.
Mhm.
Yes, I can share a bit of what we do in Libya to gain or to attract new members. Obviously, it is very important that our current members come with more people. It's not everything new. We have a website for Lady Toastmasters Club that our VPPM built this year. And in this website, we have a very simple, just click here to to align or to subscribe to go to our next meeting. Very simple. The person clicks there, they just need to write their name and their number. And then our VPM, that is Paula, contacts that person to see what is the next meeting that they can attend. And that's when our relationship builds with that possible new member. And it's this way of being so close to our invitees and to our new members, because when this person goes to said meeting, the first person that he will probably talk to will be Paula or one of the committees of Paula, one of the people that are part of our committee, and they will explain how the meeting is going to go. They will explain a bit more about the Toastmasters, what they can get from us, and how we can support them through their life as a Toastmaster. And at the end, also every time we have an invitee, we started doing this this year. We ask the invitee to share just a few words, one word even sometimes, of what they felt during that meeting. And then this is how we build the relationship and the trust to be able to have the 8 members, the 8 new members every year.
Wonderful. Miguel?
I think Pablo, you wanted to ask before to go before, right?
I wanted to add something, yeah, because basically what we did is to build a funnel, like a sales funnel, but for
Mhm.
our new members. So of course we have our magnets. Those are basically social media or Meetup, which is also social media, and the website. When somebody is interested in joining, then they register and they automatically get an email saying, which says, thank you for subscribing. We need to review if there is space for you. You will be noticed soon. And a few hours later, automatically, that person receives another email which says, thank you very much for subscribing. Now we can confirm that there is space for you. So the person who is interested is already thinking, oh, they made space for me. Now I need to attend. Now they attend. And there is a follow-up email. And then I don't remember the whole process, but there is a funnel, an actual funnel
Yeah, yeah.
in the guest coming first, and once they are there, become members after it. And of course, since we are a big club, we also have a waiting list, which also generates FOMO, of course.
Wonderful. Miguel?
Recently, some of the things I have been asking myself about how can we get more members. Well, sometimes I recall a concept that when I have a background in management, and I studied also a bit of marketing. And in marketing, they have something called the 4 Ps. That is 4 factors that greatly help businesses to promote their businesses. And they
Mhm.
are product, price, place, and promotion. Well, I will not talk about the place and the price, but one thing I know, we do have a good product. Well, we know what Toastmasters is worth. But sometimes I think about how much do we really invest in promotion? at least in my club, I don't think that we do it good enough. And recently, our area director and Acuna, we had the TLI, Toastmasters Leadership event in January, and she did something that we don't used to do, which is have a budget for marketing, paid advertising in social media. She told me that thanks to that, we were able um, to have some new people, new guests, people who didn't know about Toastmasters, and then they got to the event. I think that I don't know if people are a bit afraid of using paid advertising. I don't think it's bad. I think it's something worth discussing, which is how many funds do we have? Do we have, I don't know, a budget for 50 euros that may be worth using so that we promote our club and Toastmasters? I think that is one way to make Toastmasters and our mission and our ability to help people improve communication, make it more aware to the public. And then, of course, have more members at the end in our club.
Definitely. Definitely. I know from my personal struggle as the PQD that people don't like to go to TLI and COTs. And sometimes I was annoying going after them and tried to push on area directors or sometimes directly to the clubs I had bond with. But it's not a problem that you face. What happened in your club that people go immediately to the COT and the TLI? They receive training. Uh, it can be informal training, of course. When you pass the knowledge from the previous officers to the newcomer, to the income officers, but I'm talking about the official one that grant you credits toward your DCP goals. It's hard to motivate people to go to TLI on your clubs. So what do you do?
This year, I would say that it probably was not hard to motivate my officers to go to the TLI or to the COT. One of the most important things is our officers need to know that this is one of the topics that we need to achieve to be able to achieve the DCP. This is the first thing that our officers need to be aware, and that will make them have a little bit of a goal of their own to go to the TLI in order to help the club. Then I would say that the second thing that we're doing over the last few years is that we take this moment of the TLI always to learn, but also to build a community with other clubs that are not just our club. And that's also how we sell a bit the TLI to our officers. The third point that I would say is that at least from the last few years, our structure, and as Isidro said, at least in Leiria Toastmasters Club, our officers are usually, it's the first time that they are doing that officer role. So they really need to learn about the topic, or at least about, if they did a role or officer role the past year, it was a different one. So they need to have more knowledge about that role. So obviously we sell it as it is, as a place where they will learn more about their role. And the last thing, and for that I need to say, is that we try to go as a family. So we try to fill in our car as much as possible so that we can, in the trip there and in the trip home, just talk about what we expect for the day, what we want to get from this TLI. And also the other way around, when we come home, we try to share what we learned, because we usually don't go to the same sessions because we have different roles. And so it's that moment where we start to just do some brainstorming of what we can do better in our club, what we can do different. And that, I think this is how we are selling it right now, and makes us have a lot of our officers attend the TLI and the COT.
Wonderful. Pablo?
In our case, it is, I mean, as you commented, there is a lack of motivation to go to this kind of trainings. I personally don't like going. I am gonna be honest with you. Uh,
Mhm.
I have been in the committee for already 3 years since I joined Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters, and 2 months later, they told me, Pablo, you are going to be a great member of our committee. And I started in the committee. Ever since I joined Toastmasters, I am in the committee. This year is the first time I attended one of these trainings. And the only reason why I did it is because my president told me, Pablo, we need you to go because otherwise we are not earning the maximum distinction this year. And I don't want that the only reason why we don't get it is because you didn't join the training. Okay, that was my only for only so I am not the blocker. Um, for my colleagues, the colleagues are normally motivated by learning. And normally the most of the people in the committee are new in the committee also. So they don't really know what they are gonna find in the trainings, and and they are curious and they are quite motivated about doing for the club. That is the main reason I believe they have to attend these kind of trainings.
But before I'm going to Ray and Miguel, let me share something here. Many of you know João de Mendonça. João de Mendonça was a founding member of the first club in Portugal, and he received in 2024 the centennial convention of Toastmasters International, the Presidential Citation Award. João has been an officer for ages, for centuries, and this year TLI for the Division D, they asked me to make a presentation about growth, about creating new clubs. And I decided to share the video of João receiving the Presidential Citation Award. I didn't know, I had no clue that João would be there.
Okay.
And João, he doesn't need to learn anything. He's a treasurer. No, now he's a secretary, but it was a treasurer for many years in my club. He doesn't need, and he could have attended online, and he was there. I was surprised, and he said, "This guy is amazing." It's you know. I go for to mingle with people, with to to see people I don't see for many time, to have lunch and so on, to have fun. But Pablo, still Pablo, you don't like to go to the training, right? What could area director, division director, whoever is organizing the training could have done differently to motivate you, or can do differently to motivate you to attend? Why don't you like to attend training?
I don't like to attend training because it is not short. It is an amount of hours on doing
Mhm.
something that in my private time that I would rather be doing something else. Going to
Okay.
our meetings, it is different. I have fun there. Going to the contest, I have fun there. Going to a training about how we are gonna improve the club, which is good. We need to improve the club. But I don't need to attend. I need somebody to tell me what they have. You know what I mean? It is a better use of my time.
And what about you going and deliver a training for new officers,
That
passing
is
your knowledge
that is
as
it.
well?
That is different. If I am invited to give a training,
Hmm.
I would I would find time in my schedule, of course, because that is different. That I
Okay,
see the value of me doing something different. Yeah.
great. Miguel, push people, you know,
Yeah.
like
Well,
this to the training.
uh-huh.
That
I think communication. Usually these events occur in a Saturday, and Saturday is when many people usually are time off. They have their days of rest from work, and can be tough for many of us to well have another day which is a full day of trainings, and then we only have one day of rest, which can be Sunday. So I would go for the communication as early as possible. Speak tell people when it will occur. Um, Try to motivate, especially the members, why it can be relevant for them to go to meet other fellow Toastmasters. And then for the officers, I think it's perhaps important to use the part of, well, we need you to be there because we have the objectives of the club. And then if we do with time, people can see their agenda and see if they can go in that day or not, if they have other appointments. Because, well, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if they don't go. I try to speak with them, try to understand if they can go, if they can't, and if we cannot meet the four points, well, once again, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Ray.
Yeah, when we change officers, we tell them that the first step to their success as an officer is going to the training. Unfortunately, the first COT is usually the beginning of July. So we have problems with people going on holiday, etc. It really should be at the very end of June. So straight away, the person is training for the next 6 months. We usually have one or more of our officers who are giving training at the COTS. So we encourage the other officers to go along and support their fellow officers. And a few years ago, when Clara was division director for E, she did something different. She called it the member's journey. So it was a way of linking each of the functions as though a new member's joining the club. How does the VPPR get that person interested in attending the club? How does the VPM interact with them to get them to become a member? How does the VPE then get them to schedule their speeches? And it became a process to go through all of the different roles of the officers and how they all link together, not just look at officers individually, because I think that's where some clubs struggle, that they don't look at the actual team of officers. And we make a big effort to rotate officers halfway through the year, and officers are elected in our club. We have proper elections, and so you're not just asked to be an officer, you then have to stand up and be elected.
Wow. Well, we reached the end of our session today, and I will recap a few things that I take from this. Generally, you have 3 speeches, and some club, in case of Lalia, sometimes 4 speeches. You motivate each other. You share. You tell people that DCP exists. You share this information, and so everything starts happening naturally because you are planting the seed in their minds, and when one day they become officer, they already know that DCP exists, and they have this pride of made the club great. Ray, thank you for coming. Carolina, thank you. Pablo, thank you. Miguel, thank you. Actually, Carolina, I talked with you in the beginning of this mandate. I was looking at my notes. It was you as a VP last year.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I don't know if anyone has a last question, just one question for the audience. I will accept that. If not, we will close. And I would like to share here that because we have a lot of officers and members in Spain who don't speak English, we will have a Spanish version of this event on the 25th of this month as well. It's something that we have to pay attention to because not everybody speak English. So thank you so much for coming and see you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.